So Canada wants to make housing more affordable without crushing home prices. How does one do that? The basic of economics is supply and demand. High demand and low supply equals high prices. Low demand and high supply equals low prices. Well, the Canadian government's goal is to not crush home prices, but get people who can't have their needs met into affordable homes by greatly increasing supply. Somehow without a labor force. How will the government's latest strategy impact your wallet, whether you're in the market to buy a home or sitting comfortably in one of your own? Well, Housing Minister Sean Fraser, in a bold statement, assures us, our goal is not to decrease the value of their home, but to make housing more affordable for those who can't have their current housing needs met. He sets a clear mission to flood the market with homes that are affordable without pulling the rug from under homeowners' feet. This plan strikes at the heart of a pressing issue, making home ownership accessible for all without compromising the investments of existing property owners. For buyers, it's a beacon of hope maybe. Affordable homes may be on the horizon. For sellers, beware, for the laws of economics normally don't lie. Fraser's vision is ambitious, aiming to cool the heat of the cost of living crisis without freezing out the wealth of many Canadians have built within their homes. But the question remains, can this tightrope be walked without tipping the balance of the real estate market? Yeah. In just a decade, the benchmark price for homes across Canada has surged to an eye-watering almost $750,000, approximately $560,000 for those of you in the States, doubling in value, signaling a red alert for potential bubble risk for great hotspots like Toronto and Vancouver. According to a USB report last year, snagging a typical home in these cities, apartments included, will set you back more than $1.15 million. These staggering figures are more than just numbers. They're a wake-up call for the reality of increasingly inaccessible housing market for many. And just about 90% of Canadians fall into the middle-class bracket or under. In the face of these daunting figures, Housing Minister Sean Fraser is attempting to tackle the challenges head-on, with a strategy that revolves around distributing federal funds more swiftly and incentivizing local government. Fraser's plan aims to pump the housing supply in not only Toronto and Vancouver, but across the board. This initiative seeks to mend growing rift between demand and supply, although Fraser remains cautious, acknowledging that even with these efforts, expecting a sharp downturn in the prices of detached homes in markets like Toronto might not be a reality. Recognizing that while steps can be taken to ease the strain, there are no quick fixes to the housing affordability crisis. The last 3 years have seen prices in Canada leap by an astonishing 36%, fueled by a perfect storm of ultra-low interest rates between 2020 and 2022, coupled with a critical shortage of new homes in the fast and rapid population growth. As the population growth surged, so did home building costs, rising about 51% in Canada. This surge is not just a matter of market dynamics, but is also driven by the widespread belief that home values will continue to climb, especially as the government ramps up its immigration targets annually, adding more pressure on the housing demand. To address the crunch, we need to be emphasizing that dialing down the number of newcomers to Canada is not the solution to the nation's housing shortages. It will certainly help in the short term, but is not the solution. The message is clear. Enhancing housing availability and affordability is the focus. Acknowledging the multi-phase challenges without resorting to reducing immigration as a quick fix. Immigration must continue in our country. However, it must be diversified, meaning we can't just keep pumping people into our major cities. Our more rural communities will be the ones to benefit from increased immigration and better infrastructure. We should be working more closely to tie our immigration levels to both our industrial policy and the absorptive capacity of communities. It's important that we don't reduce our population growth, but instead increase our housing supply targets, remove the red tape in communities, and support them by allocating budgets to build the necessary infrastructure to support these more rural communities that should be populated with newcomers to Canada. For those in Canada, we should be looking at strategies other countries are using to help people get into the housing market. Look at countries like the UK, how instead of looking to over-densify, they are looking to allow first-time homeowners to enter, or home buyers to enter the market with as little as a 1% down payment. Again, they aren't reinventing the wheel, they're just modifying it. And it costs their country and taxpayers so much less to do. Instead of implementing policies that will raise taxes yet again, when we try to reinvent the wheel or pump money into social programs to build more affordable housing, it costs us an annual tax, property tax, and inflationary expenses, and so on and so on. We don't need to reinvent. We just need to revise current policy. Through collective advocacy for fair wages, innovative financing solutions, and supportive housing policies, we can ensure that the dream of homeownership remains accessible and sustainable for all. Let's commit to actions that empower individuals and communities, making the dream of owning a home a reality tomorrow. What's your take on the housing affordability crisis? What can we as Canadians advocate for to help housing affordability while keeping our investments in our homes safe? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you soon.